It's October 5th, 2021. On CBS this morning, they're actually showing some of the migrant movement that's coming into the area, which is really interesting. And Gayle King also mentioned something about something that just got published called a Pandora paper, which I had never heard of either. I'm star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. I'm in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy, broken. This is a smuggling operation, they call it.
This would be the last time we saw any Colombian government forces or officials.
They're saying this is Colombian government.
After negotiating passage along the only land route into Central America.
Okay, the Colombians that I have seen in Bayside are more blando by skin color. They are not as dark as this. I know that, again, it's a large area, it's a large territory, but in the United States of North America, the Colombians that I have seen and I have spoken to, or that have identified themselves as Colombians, they are a lot lighter in skin color than what is displayed here. Just so we are clear on defining some lines with identity.
America. We followed Nelson and his family on dirt bikes, out into the countryside and up into the hills.
¿Cómo está la niña? How's the child? Your girl, how is she? Okay. She looks a little scared a little bit. Miedo un poquito. Sí.
We rode for more than an hour, struggling through...
A new New York City problem is these dirt bikes are everywhere throughout the city. People are riding them. They're loud. This is a new thing that's just started over, for me anyway, that I've noticed, even in my own neighborhood. ATVs, off-road vehicles, and bicycles all of a sudden, out of nowhere. With this demographic of visualization type of people in Bayside Station and in other parts of the city.
Through mud and streams to where the hills become mountains at a smuggler's camp on the edge of the jungle.
This camp is the place where many of these migrants spend one night before they go on into the Darien Gap. Those who run this camp here who are very wary of our cameras, but this is it from here on out. It's all by foot and it's all through the jungle.
To understand how treacherous the terrain is, consider this. The Pan-American Highway, or Via Panamericana, runs from Alaska all the way to Argentina, but the road stops between the borders of Panama and Colombia, a 66-mile stretch of untamed wilderness too difficult to build. That's why it's called the Darien Gap. Despite the dangers, the number of
I had never heard of the Darien Gap.
Skyrocketed. More than 90,000 people are estimated to have passed through this year.
¿Ha visto usted estos números en su vida? Have you seen these numbers ever in your life?
No, nunca.
This smuggler, who would not give his name, told us his people only take the migrants as far as the border with Panama, then leave them in God's hands.
Todos quieren entrar a Estados Unidos o morir en el camino que volver a Haití.
They'd rather die trying to get to the United States than be deported to Haiti. Prefieren morir llegando a los Estados Unidos
Que volver a
regresar a
Haití.
Haití.
Sí.
And it is into
I
that
do not know why and what the deal with being deported to Haiti means, but this trek through God's hands up through the north is dangerous for God.
that jungle of rivers, rocks, wild animals, and criminals that Nelson and his family are headed. The plan was to leave first thing in the morning.
That will be the difficult part. ¿Estás preparado mentalmente? Sí. Motivación. You're motivated.
Nelson says he's prepared for the roughly 3-day journey through the wilderness, a journey he knows is full of danger.
Corazón. It's all hard.
We've yet to hear whether they made it out of the jungle. For CBS Mornings, Manuel Bojorquez, Nicole, Colombia.
Wow. The images are heartbreaking, and when you think the treacherous conditions that you go through to risk yourself, but more importantly, to risk the lives of your children.
Those babies.
That's how desperate
Yeah,
you are.
you're not putting your kids in that water unless you think it's safer and better than where you're coming from.
Yeah, well done by Manuel, but with that said, the journey is so treacherous.
What did the one smuggler say? We put them in God's hands. We get them to that line, and then they're in God's hands.
And we pray for their protection.
Yes, we do. Ahead of journalists at the forefront of a global investigation known as the Pandora Papers, he'll tell us why regular people should care about how the rich hide their money. But first, it is 7:18. Time to check your local weather.
Hope your morning is off to a great start. It's going to be another gloomy day for us. Expect cloudy skies, a high of 67, and a slight chance for a stray shower. As you look at your extended forecast tomorrow, brighter skies with a high
That's
of
where
70.
I'm at
Your day
at
will
the
start off
moment.
mostly cloudy Wednesday and end up partly sunny. Thursday into Friday, we're